All right, they've done it again. I love these guys. James O'Keefe and his team at Project Veritas is pushing out another series of undercover videos exposing the troubling and intentional bias in the fake news in the newsrooms of legacy media. For its hashtag Expose CNN campaign, Project Veritas got on camera CNN's technical director, who told an undercover reporter that the focus at CNN was to get President Trump out of office. He also talked about CNN baiting and manipulating its guests, also talking about how they were able to boost their ratings by scaring people with the coronavirus death tolls. Here's a clip of part of what they released yesterday.
Look what we did. We got Trump out. I am 100% going to say it. And I 100% believe it, that if it wasn't for CNN, I don't know that Trump would have got voted out. I really don't think so.
Oh, really? I think if COVID hadn't happened, it wouldn't have mattered what covered, and Trump would still be in office.
I came to CNN because I wanted to be a part of that.
So here they are admitting, obviously undercover camera, covering the fact that they exposed or they were intentionally trying to get Donald Trump out of office. And in fact, you just heard the technical director say that he came to CNN for that very purpose, to try and undermine President Trump, tilt the election so that they could unseat him. I mean, this is the kind of stuff, and this isn't the first one. Obviously, we've seen more coming out of CNN in some of the previous videos that show this bias nature of CNN. But it's not just there. I mean, obviously, we know MSNBC is there as well. This should give everyone pause when it comes to the legacy media. Now, we're trying to get connected here with the communications director. I think we're going to have him here shortly. We had some technical issues in connecting. But here's the thing. The media has become a part of the opposition to conservatism in America. They are the mouthpiece for the left. I mean, so anyway, to tell us more about this is the communications director for Project Veritas, Nick Givas. Nick, welcome to Washington Watch.
Hello, sir. Thank you. Just to clarify, sir, I'm the managing editor of the Newsroom, actually.
Okay. All right. Well, give us, I just showed a part of the clip of this latest release on this undercover investigation of CNN. I mean, were you surprised in how open and blatant they were? And
not at all.
I mean,
not at all. Not at all. This has become the normal standard, it seems, and I can say this even from experience as a former journalist. I've worked at many outlets, national outlets, and I believe there's a disease of indifference running through this industry, something that used to be sacred. This used to be relied upon for the truth, and people made life decisions, sometimes life and death decisions, based on what they heard on the news. And to see what it's become, I still leave it to the public to judge for themselves, but I think it's there all in black and white. This person from CNN was on camera saying they know it's propaganda. And CNN refuses to respond, refuses to take action. So, no, I'm not surprised, but I am still disturbed.
Now, I didn't play all the clip. I played a short clip, but also in this clip, it reveals that how widespread this is. This is not just a few people in the newsroom that's manipulating. This goes all the way to the top.
Yeah, well, in the tapes that we had, at least in part of them, you have this technical producer, Charlie Chester, saying that this is coming from, like you said, the very top of the network. This is Jeff Zucker using what they even call a bat phone, a red phone in certain cases, to call producers to tell them to put the COVID death ticker back up on the screen in the name of ratings. Now, these words, I encourage your viewers to go to projectveritas.com. I would tell you to go to James O'Keefe's personal account, but it has just been permanently shut down. So this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a media that will come after you if you dare to tell the truth. And that's very ironic, given that the media's mission should be to seek truth.
Should be. Emphasize should be.
Should be.
So,
Should be, yes.
Nick, what has been the response other than to shut down James's site? What has been the response? Any word from CNN?
No, nothing from CNN thus far. And also, I don't want to conflate the CNN with the shutdown of James's account. We're still working on response and figuring that out, and we've put out a few statements. But per the CNN story, no, they refused. Oliver Darcy, media reporter for the network, hung up on James when he called in personally. I and several members of my staff in the media department tried to get a hold of anyone we could. We even in person traveled to Warner Media headquarters with a camera, offered to turn it off if they give us a meeting, a statement, anything. We had met with security and police. Now, nothing happened, obviously, but we had to leave with no response, no statement, no text. And I must say, the silence is deafening and frightening.
So, Nick, final question for you. Americans looking for information, looking for news, wanting to know what's happening. Can they rely on the legacy media anymore?
No. And it's been that way for some time now. It's been, I don't want to say decades because I don't want to go beyond what the exact years are. How can you determine that? It can be subjective, but I've noticed it personally over the last decade that it's gone completely into just factions. And whatever faction, whatever media outlets behind, there's exceptions, of course, Project Veritas being one of the few. But even at the other outlets that you would think were closer to real journalism, there's a lot of politics going on behind the scenes. There's a lot of interests at play here. And that's not the way the media should be. It can't function that way anymore.
Yeah, you're right. Nick Givas, thanks so much for joining us, and keep up the great work over there at Project Veritas.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate you having us on.
Absolutely.